Today I'll be taking a look at this Blacklight Freddy Fazbear Hot Topic exclusive pop. This is Pop Games number 955, which is sort of weird that I believe it's a new number considering that the figure is the exact same mold as the original Freddy, which sure as hell was not all the way down or up to 955 at that point. This is a Hot Topic exclusive. These are the second round of Five Nights at Freddy's Blacklight figures. This came along with a Foxy. A Chica and Bonnie have not released yet, but I would assume that in time we will get those two to go along with it. I think the most interesting part of this figure is probably the box. It's pretty interesting. It looks very much different than other Funko Pop boxes with the black base. Of course, we've got so many Blacklight figures in the last little while that the box is or box style has become quite common, but it's still quite different than your average Funko Pop box. I think the yellow borders around the box look quite nice, as well as the pink and blues used, the green as well. It's all using colors that you see in both the Foxy and Freddy figures, and I'm sure other Blacklight figures as well. Unlike the original Blacklight Freddy, this one has a black base instead of the other one, which I believe was purple. I know Chica was purple. I'm not sure if Freddy was. This is a Hot Topic exclusive. You can see the figure on the side of the box there with more of the yellow and pink borders, the Five Nights at Freddy's logo with Blacklight written underneath it, and the two figures 954 and 955 with Foxy and Freddy Fazbear. I think it's a good looking box. I think that's probably the most interesting part of this figure, and I guess the best part of this figure is just getting a basic Freddy Fazbear out there, with the original one at this point being decently expensive. I think he's around $60 or $80, so he's getting up there. I believe Bonnie is probably the most expensive. I don't think Foxy or Chica are overly expensive, but I believe Bonnie and Freddy are sort of rising in price. I think it's a decent looking figure. I'll take a closer look at it now out of the box, but just right off the bat, I think it's a good figure, just sort of unnecessary. So here is the Blacklight Freddy out of the box, and the base color is black just like the Foxy is, and then he has some different accenting colors that aren't on Foxy. Foxy has a decent amount of purple and pinks, where for Freddy it's greens, blues, and then of course the yellow eyes, as well as on the microphone. I'm wondering what they will... there's no way they would make Foxy and Freddy and not end up doing Chica and Bonnie, so I'm interested to see what those, their accent colors would be. Of course, they would keep that black base, and then I'd wonder what they would go from there, as Foxy, just quick comparison here, has the purple and pink base, where Freddy has that green and blue. I think this is a pretty good Freddy figure. Of course, they pretty much nailed it, right? When they first released these figures, the original mold for Freddy is it's really good. It represents the character great. I'm wondering if we'll see any sort of switch up in that when they when they end up making those Five Nights at Freddy's movies figures, because I would be shocked if they don't, considering the amount of Five Nights at Freddy's merchandise that Funko puts out. Just looking at this figure, if you've seen the Freddy's that they've made before, this is the exact same one, just different colors. So green there in the ears and around the mouth, a blue nose, some blue eyebrows, a blue hat, some for the little metal bits attaching his head to his ears, some more blue accents, a blue bow tie, and then the microphone and everything else for the figure, except those joints. All the joints are blue. I think it's cool that you can see the blue between the joints. It's sort of a cool addition to the figure, not just having the whole thing black. This small blue accents around the joints are sort of a cool idea. I think overall the figure is pretty good. I don't love these Blacklight figures, but I also don't dislike them. Like, this is currently the cheapest, I guess, and easiest way to get the Freddy mold, or at least the easiest one, because I've seen it pretty commonly at Hot Topic at this point. Of course, as the weeks go on, it'll be a bit less common, but currently it's the easiest way to just get a Freddy, and I think that's good to have Freddy Fazbear on the shelves, just basic one. But I'm definitely excited to see those movie ones, especially if they're going to be flocked. So as much as I don't think this is the best Freddy, I think I probably like these better than the previous Blacklight versions, which are quite a bit more expensive than these. Of course, these are like $20 or $15 figures, so they're not going to be as expensive as those original Blacklight ones. But I think it's a fine color swap on the figures. I think next to the Foxy it looks good, and I think when they end up releasing Chica and Bonnie, I think the full set of the four will look quite nice together. So I don't know, if you have a normal Freddy or flocked Freddy or any sort of just normal Freddy, I wouldn't go for this one. It's at least to me, color swaps, chroming stuff, metallic, different random gimmicky additions to figures don't usually work all that well for me. And this one, it does. It's a Blacklight Freddy. It works as that, but it's nowhere near the original. Of course, the original one is much more expensive than this, but I would still rather get a normal one, or even go up a bit more and get the flocked one, because I think that flocked one's the best one than getting this, even if it's a lot more expensive. I just think it's a lot better figure. Of course, the figure itself, the mold, is the exact same, and I think that's good. I'm just getting a normal Freddy out there. But I don't really see a total need for these figures, but I guess we'll get more of them soon with Chica and Bonnie, and I really hope they don't go and branch out and start making some other characters as these Blacklight ones. I think currently we really need some Five Nights at Freddy's 2 figures, really. I guess Security Breach as well, and the movies. There are a lot more important things needed for Five Nights at Freddy's than these Blacklight figures, and that's, I think, my main and final thought, is that there's more things that need to be made for this franchise than more Blacklight figures, because I just don't really think it's overly necessary. But it's a good version of a Blacklight Freddy, I guess. So I think overall my final thoughts on this figure is that it's a bit unnecessary. It's all right. You know, it's the basic Freddy Fazbear. I think the flocked one is the best one they've ever made. I don't think they'll top it. And that's that. You know, when you've sort of peaked, it's sort of hard to make things that are better. Of course, I'm sure there's people that love collecting Funko Blacklight figures, and this will appeal to them. But to me, the only appeal I see to this is the new box, which is sort of interesting, along with the fact that you can now, and will soon, I'm assuming, be able to get the main cast for a relatively cheap price, around $60 for the four of them, if they're about $15 each, instead of paying $60 to $80 for one of them, which you would have to do with Bonnie or Freddy. So yeah, I think that's a good part, just having the basic characters easily accessible. Of course, it's a Hot Topic exclusive, so it's not the most accessible thing out there, but if you have a Hot Topic around you, I've seen this a bunch, and I'm sure you could go to it and find one. So yeah, overall, I think it's a good figure, but I think there are much more things in Five Nights at Freddy's that need attention, whether that's Security Breach, the movie, Five Nights at Freddy's 2. You know, there's a lot of things that I think would be nice to get figures for. Yeah, I like it, and I'm excited. I think together, the complete set of four of them, I might sort of change a bit of my mind on them. I'm like, these are sort of cool. I don't think they're the best, but, you know, they're kind of cool. You know, I assume that in the coming months, we'll have these probably not on shelves anymore, but, you know, they're still around the release day of them, so you might still be able to find a few restocks happening in Hot Topic. And I guess the possibility is that you go into a Hot Topic store in a little bit and say they got the Five Nights at Freddy's movies and figures in stock, assuming that we get them soon, which would be weird if by half of next year we don't have them. That'd be really weird to me. And you would have the full sets of these Blacklight with Chica, Bonnie, Foxy, and Freddy, and then below that, above that, beside it, whatever, you'd have the movie set. Personally, especially if those movie ones end up being flocked, which they should be, because if they are, damn, those things would look really, really nice. But yeah, I don't know. If you could get just the basic or the 4 characters in their normal looks, I'd much prefer to buy that. So I think, I don't know, if you were in a slow period, nothing for Five Nights at Freddy's is releasing, these are fine to be releasing, but when other characters, I'm assuming we're going to get some Security Breach stuff soon, you know, we might even get some Help Wanted 2 stuff soon, these just aren't needed. I think there's more things to focus on. I think it's an alright set, but I don't really think we needed more Five Nights at Freddy's Blacklight figures, and I think I'm just going to leave it at that. I think I've spent the whole video saying we just don't need it. And I think that's the truth. I think it's a good Freddy Fazbear. Of course, it's the same mold we've seen for a long time, but it's good to get a Freddy in people's hands that you can easily get for $15 or $20 at this point. So, yeah, overall, not needed, but a decent figure at that. So, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you soon with probably more Five Nights at Freddy's Funko videos. I've got the Christmas Bonnie. I'm hoping that stores around me will soon be able to get the other Christmas sets, and I'm hoping to get those reviews out before Christmas. Of course, there is that Foxy, which we'll be taking a look at soon, and some fun ideas I have for how to sort of spice these Five Nights at Freddy's Funko videos up a little bit. And yeah, so thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.